You reach for a doorknob, your fingers just grazing the cool metal, and then, bam, a jolt. It's not pain exactly, but a startling, sharp flash of electric surprise that makes you recoil instinctively. Or maybe you felt it when you slide out of your car seat, your hand brushing the door frame, and that familiar, tiny spark leaps from your fingertip, a miniature lightning strike contained within your personal space. It happens when you pull a freshly dried shirt over your head, the fabric crackling and clinging, making your hair stand on end in playful defiance. It can even happen when you reach out to touch a loved one, a gentle connection turning into a momentary, unexpected zap, an invisible current passing between you. These moments, fleeting and often dismissed with a shrug or a quick laugh, are so common in our daily lives that we rarely give them a second thought. We chalk it up to dry air, or the wrong shoes, or just one of those things. But what if that sudden, inexplicable static shock isn't random at all? What if that tiny, almost imperceptible discharge of energy isn't just a quirk of physics, but something more? What if your energy system, your very being, is sending you a message, a whisper, or perhaps even a shout through these seemingly mundane electrical encounters? Imagine for a moment that your life isn't just a series of physical events, but a continuous flow of energy, currents swirling and interacting, often unseen. And then, suddenly, a jolt. It's a moment that forces you into the present, if only for a split second, demanding your attention. It might make you gasp, or twitch, or simply pause. But in that pause, is there something more profound happening? Is it possible that these minor disturbances in our physical reality are actually significant ripples in our energetic landscape, carrying a deeper resonance, a hidden truth about our own internal state or the world around us? We've all felt that peculiar tingling sensation, the hair on our arms rising before a storm, or the subtle hum of a high-voltage line nearby. We understand on some intuitive level that energy is everywhere, constantly in motion, constantly interacting. So, what then of these sudden, personal bursts of electric shock, spiritual interpretation? Are they merely an inconvenient byproduct of a dry climate, or could they be a much more intimate, direct form of communication from a part of ourselves that speaks in wavelengths and frequencies rather than words? It's a question worth exploring, isn't it? To consider that the familiar spiritual meaning of static shock might be more than just a passing phenomenon, but a clue, a nudge, a message from the universe or from within. To truly understand what these zaps might mean, we first need to appreciate the fascinating, almost magical, nature of static electricity itself. Picture it like this. Everything, absolutely everything, is made of atoms. And within those atoms, there are tiny particles, some with a positive charge, protons, some with a negative charge, electrons, and some with no charge, neutrons. Normally, most objects are balanced, meaning they have an equal number of protons and electrons, and thus no net electrical charge. They're content, neutral, just existing. But then, introduce friction. Think about rubbing a balloon on your hair, or shuffling your feet across a carpet in your socks. What's happening in that moment is a transfer of electrons. Some materials are better at holding on to electrons, and some are better at giving them up. So, when you rub two different materials together, electrons can jump from one to the other, creating an imbalance. One object ends up with too many electrons, a negative charge, and the other ends up with too few, a positive charge. They become, in essence, electrically charged, like tiny, invisible magnets waiting for an opportunity to balance out. This imbalance builds up, especially in dry conditions where there's less moisture in the air to help those extra electrons dissipate gradually. So, as you walk across that carpet or slide off that car seat, you're accumulating a charge. Your body becomes a walking, talking, electrically charged battery, holding on to an excess of electrons or a deficit, depending on the material you rubbed against. Now, your charged self is looking for a path of least resistance, an easy way to discharge and return to that lovely, neutral, balanced state. And when you reach for that metal doorknob or touch another person, you're providing that path. The excess electrons, or the desire for them, suddenly have somewhere to go, and they rush to equalize, creating that sudden, familiar zap. It's a rapid, tiny lightning bolt, an instantaneous redistribution of charge, and that's the static shock you feel. It's physics in action, raw and immediate, a tangible demonstration of energy-seeking equilibrium. But here's where it gets truly interesting. Our bodies aren't just passive recipients of external static. They are incredibly sophisticated electrical systems themselves. Every single thought you think, every muscle you move, every beat of your heart is powered by electrical impulses. Your nervous system is a vast, intricate network of electrical wires transmitting signals at incredible speeds. Your brain, the very seat of your consciousness, operates on complex patterns of electrical activity, creating brain waves that can be measured. Your heart beats in a rhythmic dance choreographed by electrical signals. We are, quite literally, walking, breathing electrical beings. So, if our internal machinery is fundamentally electrical, and if we are constantly interacting with the energetic field of the world around us, then it stands to reason that something as direct and palpable as static electricity could indeed play a more significant role in our lived experience than we typically acknowledge. It makes sense that our body's electrical system would interact with external static charges, sometimes absorbing them, sometimes releasing them. It hints at a deeper, more profound connection between our physical self and the invisible energies that surround and permeate us. If you've ever felt these strange jolts and wanted to know what they might really mean, what deeper message they might hold for you, or how you can better understand your own energetic flow, I've created a free ebook called The Magic of Affirmations. It's designed to help you align your energy with intention every day, guiding you to understand and harness the subtle forces within and around you. Grab it using the link in the description. Now, let's step beyond the purely scientific and venture into the fascinating realm of spiritual interpretation. What if these common static electricity spiritual messages are not just random discharges, but deliberate signals? Imagine for a moment that your body, your entire being, is an intricate antenna, constantly receiving and transmitting energetic information. In this context, a static shock can be reframed not as an accident, but as an energetic signal, a sudden spike in the frequency, a momentary disruption that carries meaning. Think of it like a brief energetic reboot. You're moving through your day, perhaps a bit on autopilot, your energy field humming along at its usual frequency, and then zap. It's as if your aura has just sparked awake. It's a sudden, concentrated burst of energy, momentarily shifting your internal state and demanding your immediate awareness. Some spiritual traditions interpret these jolts as a form of energetic recalibration, a subtle, sometimes not so subtle, nudge from the universe. It's like your internal energy system, your subtle body, is being reminded of its own inherent electrical nature. When you get a sudden static energy meaning experience, it might be a sign that your aura, your energetic field, is highly charged. This could be because you're in a highly creative state, or experiencing intense emotions, or even that you've been around a lot of different energies and your field is trying to process and integrate them. It's a way for your system to release excess energy, to ground itself in a sudden burst, especially if you haven't been consciously grounding yourself. In many spiritual beliefs, energy is the fundamental building block of everything, and this energy isn't always stable. It flows, it undulates, it can build up. When it builds to a certain point, a discharge is inevitable, much like a storm cloud releasing lightning. This discharge, when it happens through our bodies, can be a sign that our own energetic boundaries are being tested or reinforced. It's a powerful reminder that you are not just flesh and bone, but also a vibrant, pulsating energy field, capable of holding and transferring immense subtle power. Some even interpret these spiritual jolts messages as a direct communication from spirit guides, angels, or even departed loved ones. It's a non-verbal cue, a little tap on the shoulder, a way for them to get your attention or confirm that you are on the right path, or even just to let you know they are near. It's a very physical sensation for a very non-physical presence. Consider the possibility that a static shock is a notification system, like a spiritual ping. It could be telling you that you are about to encounter something significant, that you are about to step into a new energetic field, or that you are meant to be highly aware in that particular moment. For example, if you're deep in thought about a decision and suddenly get a jolt when you touch something, it could be the universe's way of saying, "Pay attention to this thought, there's energy here." Or it could signify that you are out of alignment with your true self, carrying too much external energy, or holding on to energetic patterns that no longer serve you, and the shock is a gentle, albeit startling, energetic cleanse. It's a powerful, tangible reminder that your energetic body is active and alive, constantly interacting with its environment, and that these interactions, even the seemingly mundane ones, hold a deeper layer of communication. I recall a conversation with Sarah, a woman I met at a meditation retreat. She was incredibly grounded, practiced daily, and was deeply intuitive. One afternoon, during a particularly intense guided meditation focused on expanding her intuition, she felt a strong, almost physical sensation like a shimmering veil lifting. Just as the meditation concluded and she reached for her water bottle, zap! A sharp, static jolt shot through her hand. It wasn't painful, she recounted to me later, her eyes wide with wonder, but it was undeniably there. It felt like a confirmation, like the universe was saying, "Yes, you got it. That was real." She described how, in the days that followed, her intuitive insights became strikingly clearer, almost as if the jolt had opened a previously subtle channel within her. For her, that spiritual meaning of static shock wasn't just random, it was a punctuation mark, a physical manifestation of a profound energetic shift that had just occurred internally. It was a tangible validation of her inner experience, a sign that she was on the verge of a breakthrough, and indeed, she was. Then there was Mark, who had been struggling with chronic fatigue and a pervasive feeling of stagnation for months. He'd tried various conventional and alternative therapies, but nothing seemed to truly shift the heavy energy he carried. Finally, he decided to try a powerful energy healing session, something he was initially skeptical about. During the session, the healer worked on clearing energetic blockages, particularly around his heart and solar plexus. Mark felt deep sensations of warmth and release, tears quietly flowing as old, pent-up emotions began to surface and dissipate. As the session concluded and he sat up, feeling remarkably lighter and clearer than he had in years, he reached for his phone on the table beside him. Crack! Another significant static jolt, stronger than any he'd ever felt, coursed through his fingers. He actually laughed out loud. It was like the universe was high-fiving me, he explained, a grin spreading across his face. It felt like a final discharge of all that stagnant energy, a clear signal that something had really shifted. It wasn't just a gentle confirmation. It was an emphatic exclamation point saying, "That old energy is gone. You are free." For Mark, the static electricity spiritual message was undeniable, a physical manifestation of the deep energetic cleansing and release he had just experienced. It cemented his belief in the power of energy work and in the body's ability to communicate its state in profound, unexpected ways. These stories aren't isolated incidents. Countless individuals have reported similar occurrences, moments where a seemingly random static shock coincided with a significant internal realization, an intuitive hit, or a profound energetic shift. They highlight the idea that our bodies are incredibly sensitive instruments, capable of registering and responding to energetic changes that our conscious minds might not immediately perceive. The body, in its wisdom, often provides these tangible cues, these spiritual jolts messages, to bring our attention to something important unfolding beneath the surface. It's an invitation to pause, to look deeper, and to connect the dots between the physical sensation and the spiritual or emotional context of the moment. So, the next time you feel that unexpected jolt, instead of dismissing it as just one of those things, try a little mini protocol. Engage with the moment rather than brushing it off. First, pause and place your awareness on the moment. Don't just react and move on. Stop for a full second. Feel the lingering sensation on your skin, the slight residual hum in the air. Notice where you are, what you were doing, and who you were with when the shock occurred. This immediate pause creates a space for observation, shifting your default reaction from annoyance or surprise to curiosity. It's about consciously acknowledging that something noteworthy just happened, even if it's tiny. Second, take one deep breath. Instead of rushing past the experience, inhale slowly and deeply, then exhale fully. As you breathe, allow your mind to quiet, even if just for that single breath. This simple act of conscious breathing helps to ground you in the present moment and allows your intuition a brief window to offer insights. It's a way of saying, I am here, I am present, I am open to receiving. This one breath can be surprisingly powerful in shifting your internal state from reactive to receptive. Third, ask yourself, what is energizing me right now? This is the key question. It's deliberately open-ended. It's not about finding a definitive answer immediately, but about inviting one. It could be something external, a new idea, a conversation, a challenge, or even a stressful situation that is consuming a lot of your energy. Or it could be something internal, a strong emotion like excitement, frustration, a sudden burst of clarity, or a deep sense of peace. The word energizing here is not necessarily positive or negative. It simply means, what is actively engaging my energy? What thought were you having? What emotion were you feeling? What situation were you just immersed in? Sometimes the answer might be immediate, a flash of insight. Other times, it might be more subtle, something that emerges over the next few minutes or hours. Fourth, and this is crucial for deepening the understanding, encourage journaling. Later, when you have a quiet moment, write down the details of the static shock incident. Note the time, the place, the objects involved. But more importantly, delve into the context. What emotion were you feeling right before or during the jolt? What thoughts were occupying your mind? Was there any synchronicity in the moment? For example, were you just thinking about a particular person when you zapped them? Or were you about to make a decision when the shock happened? Were you feeling particularly stressed or unusually joyful? These details, seemingly small, can often reveal patterns over time. You might notice that static shocks tend to occur when you're feeling overwhelmed, or when you're on the cusp of a creative breakthrough, or when you're about to meet someone significant. By tracking these instances, you start to decode your own unique spiritual meaning of static shock language. This journaling becomes a personal dialogue with your energy field, a way to build a richer vocabulary for understanding the subtle communications your body and the universe are sending you through these powerful yet tiny spiritual jolts. Messages. The more you practice this protocol, the more attuned you'll become to the nuances of your own energetic landscape, transforming what was once a mere annoyance into a profound source of insight and self-awareness. This brings us to a beautiful concept, the mirror principle. The idea that what happens externally often reflects an internal state. In the context of static shocks, this means that these energetic discharges aren't just random occurrences. They are often powerful reflections of our inner states, our energetic equilibrium, or lack thereof. Sometimes, a static shock can signal an imbalance. Just as an object can build up too many electrons, our energetic bodies can accumulate excess, stagnant, or even conflicting energies. This might happen when we're under prolonged stress, holding on to unresolved emotions, or engaging in situations that drain our energy without replenishment. The jolt, in this sense, is a physical manifestation of that energetic overload or short circuit, a sharp, sudden release of accumulated tension. It's a reminder that we need to actively manage our energetic well-being, perhaps through grounding exercises, mindful breathing, or releasing what no longer serves us. It's an energetic pressure valve releasing, asking us to pay attention to where we might be holding too much. Other times, a static shock can indicate heightened energy looking for release. This isn't necessarily negative. It could be the energy of excitement, creativity, or anticipation building up within you. Imagine you're on the verge of a breakthrough or about to embark on a new exciting venture. Your energetic field is buzzing, vibrating at a higher frequency. The static shock then becomes a discharge of this potent, amplified energy, a clear sign that you are brimming with power and potential. It's like a circuit being overloaded because it's handling a current much stronger than usual. This kind of sudden static energy meaning might suggest that you're operating at a high energetic capacity, perhaps even needing to find constructive outlets for this surplus energy. Most profoundly, static shocks can serve as an awakening nudge, reminding us that we are far more electric, more energetic, and more interconnected than we often realize. In our daily lives, we can become so focused on the tangible and the physical that we forget the subtle, invisible currents that flow through and around us. A static shock is a visceral, immediate reminder of this energetic reality. It's a moment where the unseen becomes felt, where the abstract concept of energy becomes undeniably real in a split second. It's a jolt that says, "Wake up, you are an energetic being, feel your own power." This electric shock spiritual interpretation often points to a moment where you are becoming more attuned to your own energetic sensitivities, perhaps entering a new phase of spiritual awareness or development. It's a clear signal that you are being charged with vital life force, ready for a new level of energetic engagement. So, when that jolt hits, instead of just a gasp, take a moment to ask yourself, what part of me just needed to wake up? Was I asleep at the energetic wheel, or was this a call to heightened awareness? And then consider, am I resisting flow? Am I holding on to something that needs to be released, causing a build-up? Or am I being charged with it? Am I on the cusp of something powerful, an influx of new energy that needs to be channeled? These questions shift the static shock from a random inconvenience to a profound moment of self-reflection, turning a fleeting physical sensation into a gateway for deeper spiritual understanding. So, perhaps the next time a static jolt catches you by surprise, that familiar snap from a doorknob, the unexpected sizzle from your car door, or the playful spark as you reach for someone, you'll smile. Because you'll know it's not just physics at play, not just a random discharge in dry air. It could be your soul or the universe saying, "Wake up, pay attention, I've got something for you." It's a moment of direct, undeniable energetic connection, a reminder of your own powerful, pulsating nature. It's an invitation to listen, to feel, and to understand the deeper currents of your life. These spiritual jolts messages are subtle, yet profound, if only we attune ourselves to their silent language. Have you ever had a spiritual static shock jolt your awareness in a powerful, undeniable way? Share your experience in the comments below. What did it feel like? What was happening in your life at that moment? Your stories help us all understand the intricate dance between our physical reality and our spiritual essence. And remember, understanding your energetic landscape is a journey. Don't forget to download my free ebook, The Magic of Affirmations, in the description to deepen your daily practice of aligning your energy with intention, transforming your subtle experiences into powerful insights. And if you're ready for the next signal your body might be sending, join me for my next video, where we'll decode yet another hidden message your remarkable self might be trying to send you.